Thank you for that introduction. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Hey guys, thank you for coming to see me. I fully expected it to be nobody here, but there's a lot of people here.
Yeah, right? It's a pretty good Thursday crowd.
Okay, so listen. So, does anybody even know a panel? Show of hands if you've ever been to one of my panels before. Okay, this is gonna be good. So look, I run my panel like a game show. I call it the world's crappiest game show. Well, it just got crappier. So let me tell you what happened. So how I run this, I'm gonna pick a number before we start, between 1 and 100, right? I'm gonna write it on this piece of paper. Then every time you ask me a question, you're gonna, at the end of when I answer it, you're gonna give me your name and your guess at the number. And the person closest to the number wins, right? Easy, easy. Usually you get an 18-karat gold-plated toothbrush, but you do not get one today, and here's why. So they fumigated my house. Oh, I'm in the shadows. They fumigated my house for termites. I wish I could show you the photo. It's the most festive termite tent you've ever seen. Like out of a Tim Burton movie. So, but anything that you leave in that goes in any orifice of your body, you can no longer use. And so you can't, so the toothbrushes, there were 4 left, and the factory that makes them is in Italy, which in Italy is also closed. So what I did was, there's a section of actors' candy on a table back there, so I Purelled my hands and picked some and put it in this pocket, okay? So whoever wins this is gonna win a crappy batch of actors' candy, okay? Is that good? All right. So I'm going to pick a number right now between 1 and 100. Am I on camera? I am on camera. Okay, hold on. It's gonna be great, you'll love this, watch. Okay. That's something that I should not be touching. That's the point. Okay. Oh, I know. No, I'm not picking that one, because I know what you guys will guess. I'm going to pick, I know what I'll do. Okay. You're never gonna guess this one, it's such a good number. Hey guys! Okay, now we can get this on the road. Like, I'm sure every actor is gonna tell you for the entirety of this thing, it really sucks that we can't touch each other. I'm really sorry, but it really is for our own safety. I gotta tell you though, I'm probably the guy who's gonna die from it, but I'm telling you, I'm not worried about it. I'm really not worried about it. Here's what's happening, before we get into this, and this is not a lecture, this is just what I feel. And I get to talk because I have the microphone. I really feel like that, you know, like with the Trump presidency and everything happening, it's not a political statement at all. What's happening is that the media has realized that they've become clickbait, right? So it's like, it used to be like, the news would be like, what cereal could kill your child? Film at 11, you know what I mean? And it was like, if your child ingests a bunch of, like puts a bunch of Cheerios up their nose, they could die, right? Like, it's all fear. And like, I was in Hong Kong during H1N1. Is that what it was? Yeah, like, and I'm fine, look at me. But we're trying to protect you, and I know that I'm sort of known for Garth hugs, and I love giving them out, and I can't this time. But I will come back here another time and hug you all, I promise. Okay, so let's get started. If you guys want to line up for, we already have started lining up for questions. So look, you can ask, there's nothing that you cannot ask me. There's nothing off limits at all, be it my personal life or about the show. If I don't want to answer it, I will tell you, okay? All right, so there's only one line, right? Because usually on 2 sides, it's just one line, right? Where's the other line? Oh, that's good, because I would have totally left you guys out. Okay, so since I'm going to start with the ignored line first. You're the good line, they're the ignored line, okay? All right, hi, I'm DJ, ask your question.
Hi DJ, I'm Tina.
You tell me that at the end, because I won't remember it.
I was going to say, I'm Tina and I love you too, but the question I wanted to ask is, we really loved you in Man in the High Castle. In addition to
Thank you.
I see a lot Garth and Ed McCarthy, a little bit hapless but also fiercely loyal to their friends and somehow managing to come out okay in the end.
Thank you, and they're wearing the same person's underwear.
See, that was my question for you, not the underwear. But what did you see between those two characters, or are we just putting that on there because they're both played by you and you're awesome?
Thank you for that. Here's the there's certain similarities in a lot of my characters, except for like when I killed people on Criminal Minds, or when I recently killed a bunch of people on Creep Show, right? The similarity so like I'm the Hollywood actor, right? Like I showed up and they were like, so how I got started, let me tell you. So I auditioned for a one-line part in the movie Road Trip, and thank you. I went down with a bunch of people into a high school gym in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from Nashville. And the line was $250. It was a one-line part. And so the director came out, pointed to each of the guys, and we all said $250. And then they came back out, and he was like, so look, I want you to read for this bigger part that we're having a hard time casting. So I went home, came back the next day, and it was terrible. Like, it was so much pressure. Like, my dream was right there, right? And I just couldn't do it. And I drove back, it's a 4-hour drive back to Nashville from Atlanta, or 3.5 hours. And it was summertime. I was driving a 92 Toyota Tercel. That was a salvage car. And so the air conditioning cut out. And I drove home in the heat, crying the entire way. Because I just like my dream was right there, right? But about 6 weeks later, I get a call, and they offered me the job. But here's why they did. It wasn't because I was a good actor. I was standing in front of a window, and my ears are so big and translucent, they glowed orange, and the director thought that was so funny, he wanted to put it on camera. And I've always hated my ears, and now I love them. Because my ears changed my life, the DJ Qualls story. So when I came out here, like when I first came to LA, I started working a lot, like I did 12 movies really fast, like in like 4 years or something. And I realized that the reason why I kept getting cast is because I always lead with the truth, right? Like I know what I'm dealing with, I know who I am. I think I have a certain emotional availability that a lot of actors don't do, and so I try to imbue my characters with that kind of availability, right? And so I think that's sort of the through line to all my characters. You know, the gay storyline for him, I made them right. So it was a really nice thing. I know that everybody knows I just came out, right? Be truthful to yourself, right? And here's the thing, I was never in. Like, but the reason why, and then these next answers will not be this long. The reason why I did it was because, the reason why I didn't do it is that I was out at 19 to everybody that knew me. I made my first movie when I was in my 20s. Ivan Reitman, the producer of Road Trip, told Sean William Scott at a press conference, and he almost didn't hire him because he thought he was gay. In 2000, he said that. That told me everything I need to know about Hollywood at the time. Shut your mouth, or this will be taken from you. And and how it wound up happening was, one of my best friends is a comedian, a guy named Jim Jeffries. And he's great, right? I love this guy. So I accidentally called Elton John a fag at a concert, and it was not my fault. I don't say that word, but Elton John, we were at his farewell concert, and we were his guests. And, because being famous is awesome. And I'm not gonna lie to you. And so, we were Elton John's guests, and so we're sitting there, and Elton comes out, and toward the end of his concert, and he's getting up there, right? So he hobbles out, and he gives this like speech of gratitude, talking about his fans saved his life when he was on drugs. And this is he's like, yeah, I may do a residency, but I'm never ever going to tour like this again, this is it. And does this. Well, Jim has had a child, and he's famous for saying the see you next Tuesday word, like he's really brash. And he's had a child, and his mother died this year, and he was like, maybe I should do a moment of gratitude. And I'm like, you're famous for saying see you next Tuesday, dude. You do that, your fans are all assholes. At some point, they'll do this. fag to you, but I said it right as Elton John stopped talking about Jim. An entire crowd of people with those light-up sunglasses that you could buy at an Elton John concert turned around and looked at me like this. And Jim was like, no, my mate's gay. And I was like, it's not about him, it's about me, it's about us. Anyway, so he's now doing a new tour, and he's telling this story, right, on his tour, and somebody videos it and sends it to me, and I wasn't there for it, and he killed with the story. But he didn't say my name because I wasn't publicly out yet, right? So a couple weeks later, I go down to San Diego to see him, and I'm in the wings. Like, he's me, and I'm also me. And so I'm here watching him doing this, and because I'm backstage, he almost says my name twice. And I'm like, this is so dumb. This person loves me so much. He would never want to harm me, but he's afraid of telling something about me that it's inconsequential. So I went on stage and went, that story's about me. And he was like this. Really, mate? You want to do that here? You want to do that here, mate? And I'm like, why not? I sat down, my social media went crazy, my publicist calls me, it's like 11:30 at night, she's like, you have to make a statement right now. So that was my statement. Anyway, guys, I swear I'm gonna hurry this along. I wish they would make my panel an hour or an hour and a half, because send an email or a tweet or whatever. Hey, what's your name and your guess?
It was Tina. Tina. And you have to guess the best number, 42.
Thank you, Tina, 42. All right. Hey, y'all.
Hello. I was just wondering.
Who is that?
Nick.
Oh, hey, Nick. I know Nick.
I was just wondering, what's been your favorite moment of playing golf?
My favorite moment of playing Garth? Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good question. So many great moments. I think that, during Party on Garth, I think when he's sitting at the table with Dean, and Dean sort of goes in on him, and he gets really emotional and defends himself, like, that was, I think, a good stand-up moment for him. He's just so beautifully written, dude. Like, there's small moments. The first time when I lit that match and threw it into the grave to Garth Jenny Greentree, that was a magical moment. The funniest thing was, I walked away from that, when the fire's blazing up behind me in slow motion, and Garth had a leather jacket, and I'm supposed to swing it over my shoulder, and it was so funny because it was supposed to be just this cool moment, no joke in it, and so, but this is how it wound up coming in. I can't even have a cool moment. And they didn't even do that to me. I did it to me. Yeah. So that. Okay. Hey, tell me your number.
28.
Okay. You're not going to win. I'm kidding. Okay. Hi.
Hi, DJ, I'm Wendy. It's nice to see you again.
See you.
My question is, what is the most interesting thing you've had to learn to do for a role?
Well, I had to learn to tap dance. Let me tell you what they did to me. So I'm at VegasCon, creation show there, and that was a fun time. It was my first con here in like 4 years with creation. So I'm back in the fold now, so you'll be seeing a lot more of me, hopefully. Send tweets or emails or whatever. Wait, what was your question?
What was the most interesting thing you've had to learn?
Oh yeah, tap dancing. Let me tell you what they did to me. So I'm at Burbank. Right. So I'm at BurbankCon, and a producer comes up to me in the green room and casually says, "Can you dance?" And this is not I'm not going to make this a theme and harp on this, but I grew up gay in the South. If I had added dancing to that, I would be dead in 10 minutes, right? I don't know how to dance. You know what I mean? No. So, anyway, so they're like, it's not going to be a hard thing. We're gonna, choreograph a little thing. You'll learn it. It'll be fine. I get there, and the people the assistant director was like, so this tap dancing thing, huh? I'm like, what? They showed me a video, and I'm like, you're out of your mind. They scheduled one rehearsal for it. I go there with Jensen. I get there an hour after he was there, and he's like, I'm like, I hate you. Because, did you know that Jensen was a cheerleader? He was a cheerleader. So he knows how to do stuff like that. And also there's nothing that he kind of can't do, and it's also like, but he was right there. Like he had a little problems, but like, you know, the big, like, all that stuff, he already had down like within an hour. And so I'm just crapping myself, right? And my body doesn't do that. And also tap dancing is really hard. And so Jensen was my champion through this though. He was patient with me. He realized that we needed to rehearse every day or many more times. You know, I had a cane and I was in my room every night, like knocking down lamps and stuff like that, until we got it right. But he's just such a good man. And I've always said that I know Jared a little better because we're drinking buddies at times, and I've just known him sort of longer. But I feel like my on-screen chemistry is better with Jensen. But that moment, I was just like, fell in love with Jensen Ackles. I really, really did. He's a good man. Okay, so I think that was a good answer to that question. All right, so what's your name and your number?
Wendy,
Wendy.
72.
All right. Okay. Hi.
Hello. So I'm here with my sister on kind of like a family trip. So I was wondering, what is the wildest thing that has happened on a family trip?
When I was 6 years old, my dad, my mother, they were divorced at the time, got back together to take us on a trip, right? So it was me, my mother, who was married to another man at the time, and my parents hate each other. And I was 6, my brother was 2, and my sister was 4. So, my sister's here, my brother's in a car seat here, I'm right here, and we went on a day trip to Memphis to the zoo, and on the way there, I had to pee really bad, and my father will not stop for anything ever, right? Like on road trips, he does this. Look, it's Las Vegas. Like he does not like to stop. So I had to pee really bad, and so when I was little, Coke bottles were 10 ounces long and slender and glass, and you would put 35 cents into a machine, open a little door, and pull out a glass bottle. Do you remember these? Yeah. Right. So my dad driving, my mother hands me back, we have something called Sundrop in the South, which is it's like Mountain Dew, but less redneck. Okay? And so she hands me back one of those long 10-ounce bottles and tells me to pee in it. And at my grandfather's house, there was no heat, because I'm from the rural South, like in the middle of nowhere. No heat, so only one room was heated with a space heater. So in the winter when I was over there, everybody got a pee jug, right? But it's a gallon jug. The opening's that big, right? So she was just peeing this. So as a little boy, not understanding any sort of physics, I put my penis I poked it into the top of the thing. Well, I probably peed for a second and the pressure built up, my penis pops out, I pee all over me and my brother in the car seat. I'm not joking. I was crying, they were yelling at me, and it's a day trip, so nobody brings clothes on a day trip. So I was wearing, back in the 80s, little boys would wear these shorts and a matching tank top. They're called dolphin shorts. So I had on blue dolphin shorts with white trim around them and a tank top, a blue tank top with a white trim, and smelled like piss the entire day. Yep, that happened. Okay, and they love to tell me about this story like it didn't happen to me. Like remember that time you peed all over you and Eric? I'm like, yeah, guys. Okay, so what's your number and your name and your guess?
My name is Alyssa, and my guess is 68.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello.
Hello. So, how obnoxious was it having to act in the werewolf makeup with the contacts and the teeth and everything?
It really, really sucks. The first generation of teeth were the worst. Well, actually, the claws were the worst. All my stories do not revolve around my penis, but I have to tell you another one. So the first generation of claws were the kind that went all the way down to the knuckle, and once they were on, they were on. And the new generation of claws are like repress on nails. They just go here, right? There's some gunk, there's a cloth, gunk around it, and then they just press it on. The first generation of claws are easier they don't come off. So they're easier, like, they look better and you can do more stuff with them, but they're on you. So they're on you and you can't go to the bathroom by yourself. So I had to go to the bathroom. And to pee, so I went to the porta potty, and I go there. It was when we were shooting the scene where like I had to jump on Alex. Remember that scene? And I'll tell you about that in a minute. So I went in and I couldn't get my pants all the way up, and so I backed up and looked. I was like, "Is anybody out there? This male?" I'm like, "Yeah." So production assistant comes up and pulls my pants up from behind, which is fine, but right? Okay. So to remedy that situation, I just did this, and I cut the top. I did too. I really did. So then I'm talking to makeup, and I was like, "Why do these claws have to be so sharp?" And she's like, "They don't." File this down. Anyway, but the teeth were the worst because you can't talk with them. And poor Alex. I had to be on top of him, like going, right? And doing this. Trying not to drool on him. And I'm like, I'm going to try so hard not to drool on you. Because gravity's working against us, right? And he was like, okay, just try your best. And I didn't, and I was really proud of it, and it really, really bonded us. We're really good friends now. Last penis story of the con. Unless you come to my next panel. Okay, what's your guess?
15.
And what's your name?
Carrie.
I bet that's not how you spell it. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So obviously Garth has become a very, very beloved character, and we're all super, super sad to see him go. And so I was wondering about what your opinions or how your feelings about having to say goodbye to Garth are.
It was so sad. You know, I was happy that. Hold on, I don't like my hair. I'm looking for a hat. I was really happy that Jared and Jensen weren't there on my last shot of the thing. But you know, Supernatural's, obviously everybody tells you, is very much like a family. And I got all like the, we're gonna miss you type of stuff happening. But I held it together in the van on the way home. Like, I've been on this show since 2000 something. Like 8 years ago, I think. It's been 8 years. It was season 7, now it's season 15. And even though like I haven't been in crazy amount of episodes, I've been doing this whole time, right? And I know all these actors, and Ty lives with me in Los Angeles. Like, so I have this whole life from it. So it all just, you know, I have Vancouver from it. Like, and you know, I lived in Vancouver for 4 years with Man in the High Gas and all that. But I went there with friends because of this show. So endings are always, you know, they're always sad. Actors are like carnival people, right? Like, we roll into town, we do our job, they put away the tents, and then we go to the next place. But this has been such a part of all of our lives, and it's gone on for so long that it just really hit me hard. And I think that's what's happening a lot on set, as people in their their characters are like their last hurrah. They brought a lot of us back this year, just so we can say our goodbyes. And it's it's gonna happen, it's happening, but the finality of it, driving away, just really, really hit me hard, and I cried. I'm really going to miss it. But what a great thing! But what a great experience it's been. And we'll do this, probably until we're all old. And yeah, we're not. And it will live on forever in reruns. And probably what will happen is you'll bring your grandchild here one day, and they'll only know us from the show, and they'll be like, "Who the hell are these old people? We came to see hot young people. Where are they?" You're like, "We're in here." All right. So, what's your name and your guess?
My name is Elena, and my guess is 29.
Perfect. Thank you. Oh wait, does anybody else guess that? Nope. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I have this theory that what your favorite pizza order is says a lot about who you are as a person.
Oh no.
What is your pizza order?
It depends. Sometimes I just want the classic pepperoni, green peppers, and maybe some onions. Yeah. But sometimes I like artichokes and broccoli. It's called Kids Delight. It's a pizza that they make in Nashville. This local pizza place called Pizza Perfect, and it's just covered in artichokes and broccoli, and they call it Kids Delight. Like the irony of it. What does that mean? It means that I'm boring, and you could probably overpower me on a date? Is that what that means?
Oh, I think it says that you're a very creative person. That's not a usual pizza.
I hope so. What's your name and your guess?
I'm Katie, and let's go 82.
Katie 82. Perfect. Thank you, Katie 82. Hi.
Hello. I follow you on Instagram, so I've seen some of the artwork you've posted that you've been collecting.
Oh yeah.
I'm just wondering if you tell us like what draws you to a piece, or what your favorite type is, or what your favorite piece is.
It's interesting. Like how like you see somebody who loves music, like they'll listen to a song and it sort of changes their demeanor, it like hits them in a real visceral way, right? Music doesn't do that for me. It's like music's nostalgia. Like I'll be like, oh, I remember what I was doing when that song was popular. It's like it gives me those kind of feelings. But for some reason, visual stuff like art, it touches me in a way that it's hard for me to explain. My first love with art was old masters paintings, like portraits and that kind of stuff of people from like the 1500s, 1600s. And I have some of that Renaissance stuff. I have some of that. But then I discovered French paintings between 1870 and 1940. It's what we call modern art. And modern art ended in the 50s. Now it's contemporary art. So I really love that stuff. But it's gotten so expensive, because people don't realize this, but art is the only thing that you can buy or sell that is totally anonymous. So people with a lot of dough are paying cash for paintings and hiding their money laundering, right? So that got too expensive, so then I started collecting ancient Egyptian crap. That stuff is still affordable. I bought a mummy mask last year that I've been looking for 6 years, and full transparency, those cost like about $7,000 to $10,000. I got mine for $1,200 because I am a bargain shopper. If the toothpaste costs 15 cents less and doesn't rot your teeth, sold. Because every dollar you spend is one less dollar you have, and I always I like to buy beautiful things. I like to buy art. And here's how I pay for a lot of the stuff that I buy. My friend will ask me to go out with them for an evening, and I'm not going out for the evening, so I get my notes section of my phone out and I give myself $50. Like, you just save $50 and a hangover, which should be worth $75, but I only give myself $50. So I do that. Or I will budget my money to spend on groceries for the week and then look at how much I spent going out the week before that and whatever the difference is that I'll buy. You know what I mean? I love being an actor, but it's at some point when you do something you love, it's your job. And I still get the magic feelings every now and then, and I still love doing it. but it allows me access to buy and learn about art. And so it makes me respect it way more now. Okay, what's your question, what's your number and your name?
Marcy and 15.
Perfect, thank you, Marcy. What? What? I don't understand you. Say it all together from a bunch of different places to make it hard to understand. You say it.
Somebody pick 15.
Okay, 10.
Oh, y'all are good. Y'all are really good. Here's the thing, in the event of a tie, then I would just go back, I would wash my hands and get you some more after candy. But you're right. You're right. Good looking out. Is it this side I should go to next?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, I was just kind of wondering, since you've been on the show so long, are there any points where you had wanted to interject anything you really would have liked to have done that you didn't get a chance to?
Actually, no. There's nothing that I would want to interject. I'm always surprised when I see an episode of how they edit it or the music they choose. So it was pretty good. So, a lot of times, this is a trap. Remember when Joey was on Friends and he told that reporter that he writes a lot of his own dialogue? And then he got fired and they dropped him down an elevator shaft? And Man in the High Castle, I wrote a lot of my own dialogue because the writing was terrible. It really was. We would show up an hour before we shot something and actors would rewrite the dialogue. This show, you don't need to do that. Also, when you're a guest star, you're playing in somebody else's yard. If it's my show, if I'm a regular on it, you have a little more say. But honestly, there was really, I cannot even think of one instance, I'm always just surprised. I'm surprised they used the take of me, putting the coat over my head accidentally. I was surprised Poison, the theme song, that was such a beautiful surprise. They do a pretty good job with this stuff. You know what, I wish they wouldn't have left me in the trunk for 2 weeks. They could have handled that better, and they knew they could have handled it better, so they had to add a line to an episode, because I asked if that line was in an episode, it wasn't, because they were like, oh wow, we left DJ in the trunk. Okay, what's your name and your guess?
Sarah and 52.
Perfect. That's a good one. Thank you.
Hi. I wanted to ask you, since you were talking about art, what's your favorite art gallery that you've visited?
Well, gallery culture I hate, where they're selling other people's works, but museums, gallery culture is mean because they take a painting they bought for $1,500 and charge $5,000 for it, and then charge a commission to the actor of the, you know what I mean? It's gross, I don't like it. And also they make you feel stupid when you go in there. My favorite museum though, there's a little museum in Dunedin, on the southern tip of, what's that place I go to where Bill runs the conventions? New Zealand. It's just this gorgeous, 5-room museum that's beautifully curated. The Art Institute in Chicago is a treasure. And the Getty Center in Los Angeles, it's free. It's $20 to park, but just load a bunch of people into your car. And it's a free museum with it's world-class art for free, and the tram ride up there is pretty great. There's just so many great little museums. The Met in New York, but as far as bang for buck and it not costing you, I'm really conscious about taking my friends made me go to Universal Studios this year. You have to take out a home equity loan to take your children there. It is so expensive. So we go there when school's already back, and my friend's we don't need line jump passes, right? So we pay $150 or whatever it costs for each of us to get in, and we live 2 miles from there. And so we go there, and the line to ride Harry Potter was an hour and a half. Yep. So I understand what parents all over the world have done there. You go to the nearest line jump ticket and place and do this. Here's an extra $150 a ticket, because I'm not waiting in line to ride a Harry Potter ride. That ride is awesome, by the way. And that day, because you can only skip the line once, I think, with each ride, which is also a ripoff. But their line line jump scanner thing was broken and we rode it 12 times. If you lean forward all the way past the little barriers, you feel like you're flying. It's really cool. I don't even know if I answered your question. Really, this is just a facade for me to tell what I want to tell. What's your name and your number?
April
Okay.
01.
01? Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So my glasses are for distance and I can't see them close up. I'm supposed to have bifocals, but I refuse! I'm too young for that. But I only have 2 gray hairs.
Hi. I was wondering what your thoughts were when Garth became a werewolf. Like, how'd you feel about it?
I was mad when Garth became a werewolf. They told me this. Let me tell you this. So they told me this. I'm sitting on the curb in front of a place called Uva Wine Bar on Seymour and Smythe in downtown Vancouver. And I'm there to visit a friend. And we are day drinking. And I get a call from Adam Glass, and he's like, "So look, we're gonna make Garth a werewolf." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that. I like hunting." They were right. He should have been a werewolf. But I was upset. Like, I thought that the only way for me to come back to the show was if my wife died. You know what I mean? Because he retired first. But they found a really good way for us to do it. But shooting that scene where we had to eat those cow hearts and sharp teeth. They're made of gelatin, and they're impossible to chew, impossible to swallow. So it's gelatin, and there's some sort of salty substance on the outside so it doesn't stick to the mold. So we have these cow hearts that are about that big, that are covered in stage blood, edible stage blood, and there's nowhere to spit. We're talking to each other. And it looks so dumb on camera when you see people doing this, like at dinner. Food on the plate, so you go for it. We were all green by the end of that scene. So we started dipping the bread. This is desperate times, right? We were dipping bread just into the blood and eating it toward the end. So we're all, not great. So I wasn't pleased about it. They did the right thing, I think. Because we got to see, I think it was really good for Dean, because Dean gets to, he has a monster that he loves, right? And so how can you, and it's sort of a metaphor for anything. It's like, if you're different in society, it's really hard, and you may think that you don't like that thing or somebody's prejudiced against that kind of person until you realize you got one living in your house that you've loved this whole time, right? So I think that was kind of a cool thing that we sort of found from that. So, what's your name and your number?
Emma and 32.
Thank you. I just realized anyone could be videoing me saying what's your name and your number, and it could be turned into anything you wanted it to turn into. Hi. Wait, what are you saying there? 5 minutes? We gotta be fast.
Hi. So my question is, when you first met Dean, like when your first appearance on the show came, when he popped up in the diner or the restaurant, you said, "I thought you'd be taller." And then the newest episode that you were in with your wife, when you guys all three were standing outside, you looked really, really tall, and like same height or taller than Jensen. So I was wondering how exactly how tall are you, or are you actually taller than Jensen?
I'm 6'1", but because of my proportions, I look taller on camera. Although, the number one thing I hear from people in real life is I thought you were shorter. I thought you were short. So I must film short. I think they wrote, "I thought you'd be tall." Did I say, I think he'd be taller than me? Did I say that to him?
You said, "I thought you'd be taller."
I thought you'd be taller, right. That's what I thought. Because there's no way he would say that to me, because I think I am maybe an inch taller than he is in real life, yeah. And also as men, we have this dumb thing, and where we think somehow we equate somebody being taller than you to masculinity. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. You're 2 inches taller than me. Wow, what a big man. Well, you are a big man, right? But you know what I mean. All right, we're going quick with these. What's your name?
Soraya, and my number is 65.
Soraya, I'm gonna guess your name's spelled. So what's your number?
65.
65. Okay, gotcha. We're gonna motor watch. How much time do I have? 5 minutes. I'm gonna give myself 5 minutes. Okay.
Hi. My question is, in the most recent arc where you were in with your family and you came back into dentistry, was there like any funny stories of like having the kids and J2 together on set? Did they get into any shenanigans with
Those babies are better actors than any of us. They were on it. They did not cry. That little girl is like, you ever see that movie Children of the Corn where the children are just like, she is a Children of the Corn actress. Like she just, on her mark, knows her lines, like, I won't say robotic, but like robotic. This little girl was on it. Okay, so nothing bad happened. Yeah, they're really good. You know they say don't work with children and animals? All those kids were great. The animals were us. So what's your,
Courtney and 7?
Courtney 7, okay. Perfect. Hi.
Hey, what's your favorite genre of movie or television show to act in and why?
Ooh, I like the scary stuff. Like when I get to chop people up pretty good on this episode of Creepshow I did recently. Like they're so satisfying to take 2 watermelons and put wigs on them and fill them with blood and take a sledgehammer and just go at them. It was just so wonderful. You have one take to do that because it completely, blood was everywhere. And Greg Nicotero, he's the guy who directs The Walking Dead. And he directed my episode, and he's Greg More Blood Nicotero. It's just blood for comedic effect. It was just, I love doing that dark stuff. Okay, so what's your name and your number?
Melissa and 99.
Okay, how many? Do I have somebody who's telling me how much longer I have? It's 5 minutes, right? Okay.
My question was, since the show is ending, do you have anything coming up that you can tell us to look out for to see you in?
No, because here's what's happening. So, I'm at a certain point in my life, age-wise, where everybody has gotten married, moved on, had children, and I've spent my entire career traveling. So I'm only going to do a TV show that shoots in Los Angeles or in Vancouver. So right now it's pilot season, and I just tested for something yesterday, so I should find out pretty soon. Thanks. It shoots in LA. It's a really funny thing for ABC. If I got it, fine. No, but this is, what am I talking about? I just opened a production company. We just sold a script. I'm producing a movie that I'm not in. It's about a guy with a big arm. It's called Big Arm. But it's really, really good. It was written for me 12 years ago, but I'm too old to do it now. So I'm going to see it made. And it's really cool. Somebody gave us $1 million. Can you believe they did that? It's not enough, but somebody gave us $1 million. Oh wait, what's your name and your number? Okay, and I think you're the end because look. Okay.
My name is Rose, and my number is 83.
Rose, there's good news and bad news. The good news is, I love you. The bad news is you did not win. Okay, here's who won. The very first guess. Hold on. The number was 39. I think the closest guess was 42. Right? Tina, you won. You won a pocket full of a sanitized actor king. Come up and claim your prize. Hopefully they'll make those toothbrushes again, and I'll be handing out gold toothbrushes like somebody should. You can't be a rapper without a gold-plated toothbrush. Okay, here you go. There you go. And none of that's gonna hurt you or give you, not swine flu, coronavirus. All right, guys, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen,